I had been a mortician for 5 long years, the embalmer of the damned, they whispered in hushed tones. Willowbrook knew me as Paul the Mortician, a man whose life had become entwined with the departed. My existence was one of solitary communion with death, a union of necessity, not choice. No wife to come home to, no children to bring laughter into my empty halls, just me and my faithful feline companion, Jasper, a silent witness to the souls that crossed my path. 5 years of tending to the departed had desensitized me to the mysteries of life's end. Every corpse held its secrets, every story silenced by the cold grip of death. But then came a day that would unravel the threads of my reality, a day that began with a name, Bella Morgan. She arrived shrouded in enigma, a puzzle of mortality that defied my expertise. No evidence of trauma, no telltale signs of her passage into the great beyond. Bella lay upon my table, a vision of tranquil repose, a canvas for the art of embalming. As I prepared her for her final journey, a tremor of unease crawled beneath my skin. It started as a subtle shift, a twitch of her fingers, a flutter of her eyelids. My heart, steadfast and unflinching after countless bodies, now drummed an anxious beat against my ribs. The chill of uncertainty gripped me as Bella's limbs moved in an unnatural dance, a grotesque waltz with the afterlife. I watched, breath caught in my throat, as her fingers curled like claws and her lips parted in a silent plea.
"Help me,"
she whispered, a voice that seemed to emerge from the depths of a forgotten nightmare. My hands trembled, cold sweat prickling my skin, as I witnessed the impossible, a corpse awakening from its slumber. Jasper, my steadfast companion, sensed the intrusion from realms beyond. His eyes widened, a low growl rumbling in his throat, a feline chorus to the horror that now consumed us. This was beyond the realm of the mundane, beyond the laws of nature that had governed my existence. I needed answers, guidance from realms higher than my own. With a trembling hand, I dialed the number of the local police, my voice quivering as I relayed the unearthly events that had unfolded within my solemn chamber. Skepticism danced with concern on the other end of the line, promises of investigation mingling with disbelief. But I knew this was no ordinary occurrence, no simple case of scientific explanation. My fingers, guided by desperation, dialed another number. A voice strained yet resolute answered. Father Michael, a pillar of faith in our humble town, heard my tale of the unnatural. His pause was pregnant with the weight of understanding, a moment pregnant with the realization that darkness had breached our reality.
"You've done well to seek guidance, my son."
His voice carried an ageless wisdom, a weary knowledge of battles fought beyond mortal comprehension.
"Prepare yourself, for the boundaries of existence have been tested."
The night wore on, each passing minute dripping with the dread of anticipation. The air grew heavy, pregnant with the tension of impending confrontation. And with the first hesitant rays of dawn, they came, Father Michael and his retinue, a somber procession of faith that brought both solace and trepidation.
"We must act swiftly."
His words carried a gravity that settled upon the room like a shroud. This was no mere ritual, no casual prayer. This was a battle against the unknown, a clash of worlds beyond human understanding. Bella's body lay at the center of our gathering, a vessel of uncertainty, a conduit of the sinister. Father Michael's words resonated with ancient power, a liturgy that bridged the realms, a melody of faith that sought to bind the malevolent force that had awakened within her. As the incantations wove their tapestry, the very air seemed to tremble with a malevolent energy. Bella's features twisted, contorted by an unseen hand, a puppet in the dance of the damned. And then, her eyes snapped open, orbs of obsidian that seemed to drink in the feeble light of the room.
"You cannot save her."
The voice that emanated from her was a cacophony of voices, a symphony of torment that echoed through the marrow of my bones.
"She is claimed body and soul."
Terror clawed at my throat, icy fingers tightening their grip. This was not the plea of a lost soul. This was a proclamation of ownership, a challenge hurled from the abyss itself. Father Michael's face was a mask of resolve, a bulwark against the unrelenting tide of malevolence that threatened to consume us. With voices raised in unity, the clergy chanted, their words a fortress of faith that sought to repel the encroaching darkness. Bella's body convulsed, a vessel of torment, a battlefield of ethereal forces clashing in a cosmic struggle. And then, with a roar that rattled the very foundations of the room, the presence was banished. Bella's body slumped, her features once again serene, her eyes closed as if in peaceful slumber. The chamber seemed to exhale, the weight of the supernatural battle lifted, replaced by an exhausted silence. But the victory was short-lived, for the room itself seemed to rebel against the laws of reality. Bella's body, once at rest, began to defy gravity, rising from the table as if guided by an invisible hand. Fear surged through me, a primal force that threatened to consume my sanity. Father Michael and I lunged forward, our hands grasping at her levitating form. But it was as though we were wrestling with the very fabric of the universe, our mortal strength pitted against an otherworldly power. Bella's limbs thrashed with a manic energy, her body a vessel of chaos, a conduit of the infernal. Jasper's howls joined the cacophony, a creature of instinct and intuition caught in the maelstrom of malevolence. The air turned frigid, a spectral chill that gnawed at our bones, a harbinger of the abyss that sought to breach our reality. With a surge of determination, we managed to wrestle Bella's body back onto the table. But victory was fleeting, as a force beyond comprehension surged through her, her limbs convulsing in a grotesque parody of life. Her contorted form seemed to mock the laws of biology, a perversion of nature itself. Amidst this nightmarish tableau, I glimpsed Bella's face, a visage twisted by agony. Her lips parted, and a voice that seemed to emerge from the bowels of damnation spilled forth.
You cannot bind me, mortal fools. I am the gateway to the void.
The words dripped with malice, a symphony of dread that clawed at my mind. Father Michael met my gaze, his eyes a reflection of the terror that gripped my own soul. This was no longer a battle for one woman's salvation. This was a battle for the very fabric of reality itself. Summoning every ounce of courage, every fragment of faith, we bound Bella's writhing form to the table, ropes cutting into her flesh as we struggled against the tide of malevolence. The room seemed to pulsate with a grotesque rhythm, the walls closing in as if the very dimensions of our world were warping under the strain. With a final, desperate knot, we subdued her, the chamber falling into an oppressive silence. Bella's body lay still, her eyes closed, yet the air remained charged with an otherworldly energy. Father Michael and I exchanged a weary yet resolute glance, the unspoken understanding that our battle had only just begun. As the first rays of dawn crept through the windows, casting a feeble light upon the scene, we drew a collective breath. Bella's body remained bound to the table, a testament to the terror that had unfolded within these walls. The room itself seemed to sigh, as if the very architecture exhaled in relief, the ordeal over, at least for now. But the scars remained, not just on Bella's lifeless form, but on our souls. The memory of her possessed contortions, the voice that spoke of unfathomable darkness, would forever linger, a constant reminder that there are forces that defy explanation, that challenge the very limits of human comprehension. And so, in the heart of Willowbrook, a battle of cosmic proportions had raged, a collision of realms beyond mortal understanding. The horror that had unfolded would forever haunt my dreams, a testament to the boundless terrors that lurk when the veil between worlds is torn asunder. In the end, I was left to ponder the chilling question, was this an isolated incident, or a glimpse into a reality where the darkness is only beginning to stir? The room was heavy with a lingering tension as Father Michael and I caught our breath, the weight of our harrowing ordeal settling upon us like a shroud. Father Michael's gaze remained fixed on Bella's still form, his eyes betraying a depth of contemplation far beyond the confines of our mortal realm. Finally, breaking the silence that had enveloped us, Father Michael spoke, his voice a solemn whisper that seemed to resonate with the very walls of the chamber.
Paul, what we have faced here is unlike anything I have encountered before.
His words hung in the air, each syllable pregnant with a gravity that sent a chill down my spine. I turned to him, my heart pounding, my curiosity mingling with an almost primal fear. Father, what do you mean? What manner of darkness have we confronted? Father Michael's gaze grew distant, as if he were peering through the veil of reality itself, glimpsing into a realm that defied mortal comprehension. This, he began, his voice carrying the weight of a lifetime's worth of battles against the supernatural.
This was the most powerful manifestation of demonic force I have ever witnessed.
The words struck me like a physical blow, a revelation that eclipsed even the horrors we had just faced. The most powerful? I echoed, my voice tinged with disbelief. But how can that be? What could have given rise to such malevolence? Father Michael's gaze met mine, his eyes a window into a world that few dared to explore.
The forces of darkness are ancient and varied, Paul,
he explained, his voice heavy with a sense of history beyond human reckoning. There are demons, and then there are archdemons, entities of unparalleled malevolence and power that can wield influence over the very fabric of our world. A shiver ran down my spine as I absorbed his words, the implications of what he was saying sinking in. And you believe, Father, that this Bella was possessed by such an archdemon? Father Michael nodded solemnly, his features etched with a mixture of sadness and resolve.
Yes, Paul. The signs are unmistakable. The sheer force that she wielded, the malevolent energy that emanated from her. This was no ordinary demonic presence. This was an archdemon, a harbinger of true darkness.
A sense of unease settled over me, a realization that our battle had been waged against a force beyond even our wildest nightmares. What does this mean, Father? What does it mean for us, for our town? Father Michael's gaze remained fixed on Bella's form, his voice carrying a weight of somber determination.
It means that the boundaries between our world and the realm of the infernal have grown thin, Paul. We have faced a force that challenges the very essence of our reality, and it is a reminder that the battle against darkness is unending.
The implications of his words were staggering, a reminder that the horrors we had witnessed were but a glimpse into a cosmic struggle that transcended mortal understanding. As the first light of morning filtered through the windows, Father Michael turned to me, his eyes a reflection of the burden he carried.
We must remain vigilant, Paul,
he said, his voice a rallying call against the encroaching shadows.
We have faced a formidable foe, but we must not falter. The forces of light and darkness are in constant flux, and it is our duty to ensure that the balance tips in favor of the light.
And so, as the sun rose over Willowbrook, casting a feeble glow upon the chamber of our battle, I found myself grappling with a newfound understanding, a realization that the horror we had faced was but a chapter in a larger saga, a narrative of cosmic proportions that would continue to unfold, testing our faith and courage at every turn.